welcome back to another video. This one is my top N64 games that I own that I like, and in my opinion are the games I like to play a lot. First off, N64, I have really good fond memories of it. Me and my friends used to play it when we were younger. When I was at just in middle school to just getting into high school, we played it a lot. Played a lot of wrestling games, but they weren't more fun when it was playing together as friends. These games are more like games I actually can play by myself and also enjoy too as well, and I still enjoy to this day. I still pop them in once in a while. So today is a top 10 of what N64 games I own, my favorite games that I own, not including ones that I don't own. So, and also we have a couple games added to the collection too as well. I'll get to that at the end. So first off, the first game I enjoyed when I was younger, actually most of these games I had when I was younger too as well. So I actually had all these games when I was younger. So first one off is Mischief Makers. This one is actually a really good game. It's a side-scrolling platform game. So really fun game. The price is kind of getting up there. The price is going up on this game. It's a pretty interesting game. The animation style looks like kind of like Clay Fighter almost. Clay Fighter 63 and a third. Same as like the Super NES Clay Fighters. Looks like clay animation almost style looking to it. But it is actually a fun game. It kind of reminds me of a little bit of a Sonic in a way too as well with her abilities too as well. And it's kind of funny too as well. It kind of reminds me of Yoshi's Story too as well. The gameplay of it. But really good game to pick up. I recommend getting this one. This was a really fun game if it's just you playing by yourself. So really good game for Mischief Makers. Next one I have here is next one I enjoy a lot is Robotron 64. Not a good condition one, but this one really fun shooting game. It's like almost like a top-down shooting game. Got to rescue people. You play as the doctor there, right there, kind of looking like a doctor there. But it's a really fun game. The music is what gets you into it. The game keeps continuing and continuing, but it is a really fun game. If you like stuff by dodging bullets and dodging enemies and stuff like that and shooting, the mechanics for the N64 controller are really good on this one. I recommend this one if you like kind of puzzle shooter games, I guess you can say, and top-down shooter games. This one's really interesting and really a game you should look at. So Robotron 64. This one's not an expensive game, so really good. And you can tell this is kind of my opinion, what games I like to play and what my top 10 games are for N64, because they don't all have to be crazy expensive. There are some that are expensive, but that one's not expensive at all. Next up is another game that's not expensive. I forgot. I got this one when it was a few bucks, $5 back in the day, but now it's maybe $15, $20, I don't know. But it's Battle Tanks by the 3DO. They also made Battle Tanks Global Assault, and I think they had another one, a third installment, but it was a different maker. But Battle Tanks for the N64, really good with 4-player or just 1-player mode going through the story missions. I really like, I was in the military, so I really like vehicles, tanks, and all that stuff, and shooting up things, and it was a really good time playing this. A lot of power-ups you can do and stuff like that. It's not an expensive game. It's one of the lower end games, but like I said, it's not a sports title, and it's a good game to have. So overall, Battle Tanks, for the price and the value, this one's really fun to play. I don't know. I play it still. It holds up to me, but I don't know. The graphics are really blurry on this game, but the gameplay is really fun on it, especially with a rumble pack, and when you're firing the cannon, the reaction, the vibration back you get from firing the cannon. Really fun to play this game. Makes it enjoyable. Next up, another game that's not too expensive. It's Star Wars Episode 1 Racer. Pretty cheap game too as well. Let me try to not get a glare in there. Love the Star Wars franchise. A lot of the games are really good. Rogue Squadron is pretty close up there. It's not on my top 10, but it's in there. So it's pretty close to the top 10. So it's a really hard game. This one's not hard at all. This one is really good. Can't compare it to the arcade version. I used to play that one all the time, but since it was getting expensive playing the arcade version back in the day, this was your go-to of it. So Star Wars Episode 1 Racer, really good game. Really fun to play. I like racing games too as well, and that's a good one to get for a good, decent value. Next up, everybody knows this one. I don't have to take it out of the case. It's Mario 64. Great 4-player. Gate mode for the Cup series, so really enjoy it. I played all of them, except for, I think I haven't played the Switch one yet. It's cool and all, but I already know what you're getting into when you get to each of them. So Mario 64, I like playing the battle mode in this one too as well because of 4-player mode, but it's still fun to play by yourself too as well. This one's not in the best of condition too as well. It's kind of hard to find really good condition games nowadays, but this one's kind of pricey up there. This one's getting more into the pricier range. A lot of the Nintendo based games are pretty expensive, so hard to find. for a good, decent value and a legit copy. A lot of copies out there that aren't original copies, so pretty interesting. Next one up, everybody knows this one, Super Mario 64. Really awesome. Had it when I bought this one when it first came out. The system first came out, so I had to have it. This one's really fun, really good condition on this one too as well. So Mario 64. Getting the stars, like completing it. I've completed it once, I think, and now it took forever to complete. And getting all the stars, I forgot how many it was. But at the end, you get the cannon at the end, so you can shoot it up into the castle and move around. It's pretty interesting. But me and my cousin used to play this a lot of time, and we used to make little clip videos of this. So really, really good game, Mario 64. Really good starter game. I always call this like the starter game of getting an N64. This is the first game you should usually always get. Always fun for everybody. One player, of course, but the graphics and the open world was so revolutionary at that time that this game still holds up to today. A lot of people, this is one of their favorite games of all time, and it still is popular. And with retro collecting and all that stuff, this was a high price. This was becoming high price and valuable for people. Even though they made tons of these things, you know, you wouldn't expect this price for this game to be up there. But the value of it is pretty good up there, and like I said, really fun game to play. Next up we have is, this one's, I put a lot of hours into it, so of course this is going to be in here too as well. This one is Goldeneye 007. I remember doing a lot of modes. Playing with me and my friends. The 4-player mode was awesome. You already know. The only downside of it is you start to know where all the weapons are and everything is at. The body armors are at. The hiding spots, and you get used to it. And my favorite mode, I guess you can say, was remote mines. And I hated when people played Odd Job because he had that advantage because you'd shoot right over his head. It kind of sucked. No one picked Jaws because Jaws was so tall. It's a big target to hit anywhere, and it kind of auto target. I guess aim assist at that time frame was at its pinnacle, but really fun game, and I loved going through it. Beat it a few times. It got harder after a while, but also the paintball modes, big head modes, all the extra like cheat codes you could pop in there to play different types of modes on it was a really interesting game. Really good game. Did it stand up the test of time? Nah. First person shooters kind of killed this one, but this is where, you know, this is one of the originals where it all came from. I used to play Wolfenstein before this, and this one kind of broke that barrier of that 4-player mode, multiplayer mode of first person shooter. So really good game to get. Goldeneye 007, really fun game. You wouldn't think this one is a movie-based game, but it's a phenomenal movie-based game for the N64. Next up we have is, this one's not the last one, but one of my top ones, but it's in there, and that's Conker's Bad Fur Day. Really expensive game nowadays, kind of rated mature. I got this later on in the life of the N64, you know, because of the content of it being mature audiences. Fun game. The parts I liked the most was when in the Matrix mode, and also the poop. I guess you get a poo. I can't really say it really in a negative way, but it's funny that he's singing about that stuff and throwing sludge at you, and you're trying to get through the stage using toilet paper. Really fun game. Really interesting game too as well. Overall, really pricey if you want to play it. Really good though if you can get a hold of it. At one time I had actually 3 copies, and I guess I hooked up my friends with that because they remember playing this when they were young too as well, and they had to have it too as well. So, and this is the early ages of Rare. I guess you could see that, Rare games, and a really fun game to play too as well. I enjoyed it a lot, and like I said, it's hard to find these kind of games nowadays, and this one's in like excellent condition. Opened it up to make sure it was real legit copy, and this is one of the best copies I've seen. Like I said, I had multiple of them, so I picked the best one out of the bunch and kept it. Second to last one, this is number 9. This one is a really awesome racing game. I like it better than Mario Kart 64. Some people do, some people don't. The mechanics are a little bit different, but it's Diddy Kong Racing for the 64. I just loved it a lot. You know, the funny thing is you could see Conker on there, and he's in the mode. You could play as him, but he's not that evil looking one because this one's, you know, licensed by Nintendo, so pretty crazy. But you could play in like a hovercraft an airplane, and a vehicle. I think it's awesome. And then they had the open world where you get to choose your stages. It kind of reminds you of Mario 64 when you're going around the island there, picking where you want to left off. And it's just a fantastic game. If you like racing games and like different styles, and the mechanics are really good on this game. Really, really fun game, and I like the story mode of it too as well. So if you're looking for something to give you hours of fun and playing time, even by yourself, even with multiplayer, this thing is awesome. This is the game you want to get. Diddy Kong Racing for the N64. Really fantastic game. And last but not least, the game I love the most for the N64 is actually Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. Reason why, I put so much hours in it, beat it multiple times, and I still enjoy it to this day. Fantastic game. You know, I'm a big Zelda Link fan of those games. I played a lot of Link to the Past, but this one is actually my favorite Zelda game. I even played Breath of the Wild, and this one it's still my favorite out of the bunch. I just the introduction to the game and all that stuff, the music, playing the ocarina to basically teleport and do special abilities with it. It was just phenomenal. I remember finding the spiders and hearing the music in the woods and stuff like that, and the Boulder Mountain. It's just a fantastic game. For people who like to get into the storyline of it, the story mode of it, this one's really good. And seeing Link progress through the game is phenomenal. From a little kid to an adult, it's an awesome game to have, and one of my favorite games, Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. So overall, those are my 10 games that I enjoy the most from the N64. If you like these kind of videos, I'll actually do multiple of these ones for PlayStation, for Sega Saturn, which games I prefer to play. Again, this is just my opinion for what games I like to play. In the comments below, let me know what games were your favorite on the N64. A lot of mine are pretty common ones here. It's not the high priced ones. Usually when I notice it on the N64, a lot of the high dollar value games like Clay Fighter Sculpt Cuts is not a fun game. It's not a fantastic game. Stunt Racer 64, it's not a good game. You know, Super Bowling, they're not really that good of games. It's just so rare. I have like Transformers Transmetal, Blockbuster exclusive, not a fun game. Razor, what's it called? Scooter, not a fun game too as well. You could just play Tony Hawk Pro Skater instead. And last to end this off is I actually did get some pickups this week, so 2 pickups this week. And it's actually, since we're doing the N64, I picked up 2 N64 games to add to the collection. This brings my total up to 267 games for the N64, 29 more to go, and the 2 games I picked up, they're not even really that expensive. I'd say in the $25 to $30 range each. First one is San Francisco Rush 2049. I actually like the first San Francisco Rush is the best one. I like the San Francisco Rush. That's the name of it. I think they had 2 or 3 of these games for the N64. I might be wrong, but pretty good game. I enjoy it a lot. Seeing these games, you know, seeing the car explode after you hit it, and the only thing I didn't like was the style of it, that you could reset it and go move up. And a lot of people used to reset to keep playing the game, you know, when you crash, and reset it to start back up. You know, the load time was pretty quick when you did it that way instead of watching it all the way through. So overall, a decent game. I really enjoy it. Like I said, I like the original one first. And next one I have is Rampage World Tour. I wish I got the cabinet for this. I liked Rampage on the cabinet, the old school NES and arcade version better, but it's pretty neat too. I think it's like the animation style kind of looks like clay animation too as well to me for some reason. If you know what I mean, if you watched it, and like same as the game Trog, I think it was on Super Nintendo. That Trog version on Super Nintendo looked like clay too as well. But this one, pretty fun game. I got the second one, Rampage World Tour 2 or something like that. I have that one already. That's the more uncommon one. This one's more common. But 2 games added to it, leading my total down to 29 games left for the N64. Happy with the pickups. Glad I got to show you all the favorite games I have, my top 10 favorite games for the N64. If you like this video, again, like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. You guys take care.